Hello, and welcome to another edition of Happy Dad. I gotta work on that name. If you have another name suggestion for me, leave it in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, today I want to talk about grief. And the reason I want to talk about grief is a friend of mine and I were talking the other day, and she's having a hard time because her daughter just passed away a little over a year ago. And I get it. I think we've all been there at some point. I think, though, what we failed to really grasp is what grief is, because to me, grief as a whole we're not just grieving because our child passed away. We're incorporating everything that led into that. When I started dealing with grief and started really trying to put things together, I really tried to get a grasp on it, and I always thought grief was just me crying and getting upset because my child's no longer here. Oddly enough, of all things, I was watching WandaVision. There's a scene in there where Vision is very computer-like. He looks at problems from a very direct point of view. And so Wanda's grieving about somebody, and Vision says, "What is grief if not love persevering?"
I've always been alone, so I don't feel the lack. It's all I've ever known. I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief if not love persevering?
All places that hit me, and it just suddenly I realized that's right. I'm not crying because they're not here. I'm crying because I love them. And to me, we do so hard to fight grief. We do everything we can not to cry, or we do everything we can to get over grief. And everyone's always telling us, "Oh, it'll get better over time." That's a lie. It doesn't get better. It's not supposed to. Why should it be any easier that my son Damon is no longer here today than it should be 10 years from now? That just on logic alone, that doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't get any easier. But the thing that I think we try to do is we try to suppress that grief, and we feel like we should not cry. We feel that we should get over it. And I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. That's don't dread grief. Don't dread crying because your child's not here. Welcome it. I think when I feel sad because Damon's not here, it's just a reminder that Damon was here. And so to me, when I miss Damon, I cry because I love him. And I think that's probably the purest form of love that you could ever have. So I think Vision's right. What is grief if not love persevering? So when you cry because your child's not here, or you catch yourself spiraling out of control because your child's not here, instead of crying because they're not here, just remind yourself what it is. So me personally, when that does happen, I sit there and I stop myself before I get too deep into it, and I take a deep breath and I just say, "I love you, Damon. I love you." And I'll say it a couple times until it passes. And it will pass because you're basically reminding yourself that you have that love, and that love will never go away. So stop fighting grief. Stop trying to suppress it. Don't suppress the grief. Welcome it. Just stop yourself and say, "I love you," because that's why you're crying in the first place. If you have any suggestions for anything else, give me a direct message, drop me a DM, make sure you follow me, and we'll continue this journey together.